Are you ready to stop the guessing game and identify prospects that are the most likely to become clients? Stick around because I'm going to identify the 5 traits of sales qualified prospects that you need to know to get more of the right clients. Now, the big problem that I see most agencies and consultants struggle with when it comes to sales is that they think they are talking to the right prospects and that person ends up not hiring them, not closing. Then the agency owner thinks that they suck or that there's something wrong with their service, and they go into this vicious spiral of trying to change all these things because this person said no. Now, if you're new here, my name is Greg Hickman and I run a company called Alt Agency, and we've trained over 600 agency owners and freelancers and service providers to date on how to grow and systematize their business. And after having conversations with so many different agencies, what I've learned is in more cases than not, we're actually just talking to the wrong person. Now, the challenge here is being able to spot these subtle character traits, these 5 character traits that actually lead to a prospect becoming a client or not. Now, I've learned of these 5 traits from Dean Jackson, and after thousands of sales calls, it's way easier to spot them. In fact, just yesterday, I was on a sales call. Well, I was speaking to 2 different prospects. On paper, they looked identical. They were within $2,000 from each other in monthly recurring revenue. They offered almost identical services. They've both been in business for about the exact same amount of time, and they had the exact same challenges. Now, one of them hired us, and one of them did not. And the one that did not have these 5 character traits. And I'm going to break down each one and hopefully help you realize that sometimes when you don't get the deal, you just didn't realize that you were talking to the wrong person. So what are the 5 character traits that make up the most sales qualified prospects for your agency? Character trait number 1, are they willing to engage in a dialogue? Now, if they booked a call on your calendar from a referral or from a piece of content or from, you got into conversation in the DMs and they booked a call and they were engaging with you, then they probably check this box, meaning they're willing to engage in a dialogue. That's the first step. Some of you guys run into issues where you're chasing this person and they're avoiding you, which means they haven't gotten this one trait of willing to engage in a dialogue. Which brings us to the second trait. Are they friendly and collaborative? You probably have had a situation where you've tried to get more information from the prospect that you were speaking to in order to help them and diagnose if you actually could help them, and they were unwilling to give you the information. They were unwilling to collaborate. For example, we help our clients grow their revenue, and there have been instances where I've asked, okay, well, I'm trying to understand where you're at in business. Where are you at in revenue right now? And where do you want to get to? And these people were unwilling to share this information as if it were so proprietary and important. And guess what? Me understanding where you're at in revenue and what your profit margins look like and what you pay yourself actually impact how I would prescribe to fix that problem, because I need to know in context where you're at in your business and what systems you have in place, and do you have the funds to invest in certain things. And if the person that you're speaking to isn't friendly and not collaborative in that they're not even willing to answer the questions that you are asking that will lead you to be able to with confidence know that you can help them or not, they are not a qualified prospect. I don't care if on paper they have enough money, if they match all the other character traits, if they cannot collaborate with you to determine if it's a good fit, they're not qualified. End of story. Number 3 is, do they know what they want? So for many of you, the show stops right here. I've had plenty of conversations where we hop on a call, someone saw an ad that we ran about, helping people and helping agencies grow and productize their service. And when they get on and we're like, what would success look like? What do you want to have happen if we were to work together? How would we measure success? And they literally have no idea. Believe me, you can ask tons of questions, you can probe. There are some people that just don't know what they actually want. And they're having conversations like the one they have with you with tons and tons of people in hopes of you telling them what they should want. The reality is, if your prospect needs you to tell them what they want, that is going to be a horrible client to work with, because now they need you to know what they want. That is not a great place to be in. So, do they have these first 3 traits? Are they willing to engage in a dialogue? Are they friendly and collaborative? Do they know what they want? Which brings us to the 4th trait. Do they know when they want it? There are some people that have problems. They're friendly, collaborative. They know what they want, but they have other priorities going on and they don't know exactly when they want this outcome or when they want help. Now, you can obviously ask questions and help them figure this out and prioritize. There's definitely some sales technique here. I don't want to overlook the sales tactics, but I also think that in our world today, in agency sales, online sales, that we rely too heavily on the tactics leads many people to selling the wrong person out of a pressure-based sales conversation or trying to convince someone that they have a problem and that they need help with it. All of those will come around to bite you in the butt. Those are the clients that will churn out. Those are the clients that won't give you a testimonial. Those are the clients that are going to be the biggest headache. And all because you had to tell them they needed to solve this thing right now. And they, on their own will, did not decide when they actually want to solve this problem, because in the back of their head, they have other top priorities that are above this. And if you can't help them figure out why your solution, your service should be a higher priority because they don't believe it, that's going to be a difficult person to work with, no matter how you slice and dice it. So that brings us to number 5. Do they want you to help them? In this day and age, there's a lot of experts and there's a lot of agencies out there. And in previous videos, I've talked about why it's important to be able to demonstrate your expertise. Sometimes the best way to help a prospect realize that they need your help is to actually consult them. You know, the old trick of helping them to demonstrate that you can help them so that they want more help. Right? So do they actually want you to help them? And in the case of my calls yesterday, we had this one prospect who's got on the call. Again, these people looked identical on paper. One was like, look, I've watched your testimonials. I've watched hours of videos on YouTube. You're the only person that's talking about these problems. Like, I've been thinking about them. I need help and I want you to help me because I can see that you've helped a lot of people. They're literally admitting that they want me specifically and my company to help them. That person becomes a client. On the other hand, the other person, they want to be the one that can do it on their own, like so desperately. They won't admit it to themselves, but all of their behaviors actually will show you that they don't want you to help them. They wanted you to help diagnose the problem and help them get clear on what to do so that they could do it themselves. So they might have been willing to engage in a dialogue. They might have been friendly and collaborative. They might have known what they wanted and they might have known when they want it, but they didn't want you to help them. They want to do it themselves. Sometimes you just have the person that is this way. It's baffling, I know. And again, there are some sales trainers out there that will teach you ways to maneuver this and make this person think that they actually want you to help them. I've tried those tactics. My experience is if they don't want you to help them, at some point that will become realized for them inside of your delivery experience and they'll walk. They'll be the annoying client. They'll be the PIA client. They'll complain and it'll be a miserable experience and it won't be worth your time. You probably can think of a name right now of someone that you enrolled that you just convinced that they wanted you to help them. If they don't want you to help, they're not qualified. So they can check all 4 of the 5 boxes and they're still not qualified. And if you're sitting there beating yourself up that that person didn't close or hire you, that's going to impact you talking to the next qualified prospect and probably self-sabotage that call. So again, after working with 600 different people, time and time again, I see in more cases than not, we're actually thinking the prospect is qualified when they're missing one of these 5 traits and or a combination of these 5 traits. They need to have all 5. Are they willing to engage in a dialogue? Are they friendly and collaborative? Do they know what they want? Do they know when they want it? And do they want you to help them? That is what identifies for you a sales qualified prospect that will become a great client. I hope you found this video useful. I know it might be a little bit different than what some other folks out there say, but in my experience, the best clients are the ones that want you to help them and meet these 5 criteria. Go ahead and hit that like button and that notification bell because we have videos like this each and every week, and we'll see you in the next one.